What's good with it, Black Goose TV? You already know, man. Double salute in the game. Your boy Fluence Boxing is back at it again. And it just so happens we got the most popular celebrity boxer back in the Fluence Boxing news, man. We talking Jake Paul. We talking Hakeem Rockman Jr. We talking Dana White. And look, I'm going to be 100 with y'all, man. I know a lot of y'all wasn't feeling my vibes yesterday when it came to some of the videos I was covering and when it came to Jake Paul. I'm going to be 100 with you. I wasn't as objective. I was emotional. I had a lot going on in that day, but I still stand by everything I said. I was just extra with a lot of it. You feel me? Tonight, I'm going to drop a couple of videos. This is being one. I'm going to do another one in regards to this situation. And I'm going to do my best to be as objective as possible and keep the emotions out of it. So everything that I say, y'all can hear clearly and hopefully understand where I'm coming from, whether I'm siding with the Jake Paul side of the game or the Hakeem Rockman side of the game, or if I'm just strictly in the middle. So y'all about to get the most calm, most I'm paying attention, unbiased Fluence you'll ever get when it comes to this particular video. So hopefully y'all rocking with it. Now, with that being said, let's get into this joint. We already know that there's been all these different narratives to the reasoning behind the actual Jake Paul versus Rockman Jr. fight being canceled, correct? You know what I'm saying? Blame's going to Jake Paul and his team. Blame's going to Rockman Jr. and his team. Blame's going to the fight just not making enough money and selling enough tickets. You know what I'm saying? We got all types of different things happening. But if there's one thing that we do know is that there is one narrative that has been put out there, that has been strictly put out there from a guy named Dana White, who is a very popular influence in the combat sports because of what he's done for the UFC. And that is the narrative I was talking about when I said there is an in-the-middle opinion saying there's a possibility that this fight really didn't happen, not because Rockman Jr. didn't uphold to what he was supposed to do, not because Jake Paul was scared of what was supposed to happen, but just simply this fight wasn't going to sell enough tickets, wasn't going to make enough money, have enough revenue generated to make sure that they recoup whatever they put out there and then make some money back as well. So basically, they were going to lose money on this fight. That's the narrative that Dana White has put out there. And since he has done that, it's kind of just, had its own legs and ran. You feel me? Well, we are about to discuss the first response to Dana White because we saw Jake Paul respond to Hakeem Rockman Jr. canceling the fight, supposedly, allegedly. I'm going to be doing a reaction video to Hakeem Rockman Jr. responding to the fact that, you blaming it all on me. I'm going to hear his side, see what he says. But we haven't had anyone really address what Dana White said until today. Today, we have Jake Paul's business partner hitting back at Dana White over the event falling out and what his claims were, which happened to be they was going to lose money on this joint. They had to do it. If they didn't want to lose money, they had to cancel this shit, okay? So we're going to get into this article, man. Before we do, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Roll to 5K before the end of the year. Notification gang. Comment. Help your boy go crazy and get into the algorithm. But let's go ahead and get it, man. It's coming from boxingscene.com. We're actually very interested to read this because I am very interested to see what Jake Paul's business partner is going to say in response to UFC President Dana White basically claiming that they weren't going to sell enough tickets. So Nikisa Badarin, hopefully I'm saying that right, who's Jake Paul's business partner and co-promoter at MVP Promotions, has fired back at UFC President Dana White over his recent statements with respect to the fallout of the canceled pay-per-view fight with Hakeem Rockman Jr. Paul was scheduled to face heavyweight prospect Rockman Jr. this coming Saturday night. Of course, a few weeks ago, both men signed on a contract for a weight of 200 pounds. This past weekend, it was revealed that Rockman Jr. was able to make the weight. Even with a new limit of 205 pounds, Rockman Jr. was stuck around 215 and was physically struggling to get down any lower. As a result, the entire Showtime pay-per-view event was canceled. In the opinion of White, the event cancellation has to do more with ticket sales than Rockman's issue with making weight. While making those comments, White also took a direct shot at Badarin, who previously served as chief financial officer for the UFC. I'm not going to sit up here and be happy or gloat that their fight fell out, White said. But both those guys, I'm sure, put in a lot of hard work, a lot of training to get ready for the fight, spent money to get ready for this fight. I will say this. Just because you were an accountant here doesn't mean you know what the fuck goes on here. It doesn't mean you can run a fight promotion company. I think that Jake Paul probably needs to get some different people around him if he's going to stay in the sport. He needs to be with guys that really knows how to put on fights. These statements made their way to Badarin, who took to social media to respond to White's claims. Had zero to do with ticket sales. We already sold more tickets and more gate than Ryan Garcia just did at Staples Center. We were going to be the top 10 in gate since 2005 at MSG. Jake Paul was taking a big challenge. All of his fights have been from 188 to 191. All of his opponents outside of Nate Robinson have been plus or minus 1 to 2 pounds of him. That's all it is. They can try and change the narrative. They can they can try and destroy what this young man has done. I'm proud of him. He's his own boss. He's his own promoter, and I'm just accountant. What's up? That's a subtle flex. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because this is what I'm gonna say. The reason why I somewhat believe him is because at the very end, how he ended it. A lot of times, if you're not telling the truth, you ain't gonna end it with I'm just an accountant. What's up? You want to end it with like that. You would try to flex, be like, oh, well, nigga, I was just an accountant, but look what I'm doing. And a lot of people are saying, well, wasn't that a flex before? But it was very calculated. Like, I think it would be a lot more bravado. He was very simplistic with his statement. So do I believe Badarian? Do I believe that it was on track to be one of the top 10 most sold out fights in the MSG? You know, if you want me to be real, I don't necessarily disbelieve it, but at the same time, there are information that's out there showing that they were having trouble selling tickets. There is information showing that a week before the fight, there was a lot of availability when it came to the seats. But at the same time, that does not show, pre-booked, tickets, celebrity bookings, all that type of stuff. So a lot of that could have been filled out the week of the fight, because he's talking about projections. I don't know. I'm on the fence for this one. I'm not sure. Like, obviously there's a beef when it becomes the Dana White and one of his business partners, and one of Jake Paul's business partner, because they come directly from the UFC and the UFC accounting system. So Dana White's probably like, I know this guy, you're fucking with this guy, he's talking shit about me, you're promoting that where it can fuck my brand up, so I'm gonna fuck with you. I get it, it's business, all that shit. I'm not really sure who to believe. And remember, I'm being objective here. I said in the beginning, like, yo, y'all wasn't really feeling me on some of the videos I dropped yesterday because it seemed like I wasn't as objective. I was emotional. I was going crazy. Well, this one I'm being objective. I'm being 100. I'm siding a little bit with Jake Paul and his business partner, because I do believe there still is a lot of hype around Jake Paul. So it's hard for me to believe that, even if it seemed like they were struggling to sell tickets, I think part of that might have been, is this fight really going to happen type shit, right? So I think if the week of fight, everything would have went good, I do think they would have probably ended up selling out or being close to sold out. So I do side with Jake Paul's business partner. I think they would have done really good when it comes to the numbers of tickets sold, concessions, etc. I just don't think they would have done that good with pay-per-view buys. That's where I think they would have took a hit. Similar to Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul too. But they can have low pay-per-view numbers if they can, recoup that from, the gate, concessions, all that other stuff, right? So here you guys are. I'm giving it to you. I'm objective. I'm siding with Jake Paul's partner. I actually, I'm saying, it took me a little while to think about this talk. Maybe, in the beginning I was on Dana White's side thinking that's probably why. But I do believe, hearing Jake Paul's business partner side, things like that, and how confident he sound, I think they were going to be on track to probably do pretty good when it came to, ticket sales, gate, concessions, all that type of stuff. I think the problem would have been the pay-per-view numbers. That's my personal opinion. But let me know what you guys think, man. Drop it in the comments below as always, man. Like this video, man. Road to 5K before the end of the year. Show your boys some love. On the Sports Nigga side of the game, I'll be back. But with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.